Ah, the modern workplace. It's a grand stage where we all diligently play our parts, dreaming of a bigger role, a better script, and perhaps even a standing ovation in the form of a hefty bonus. You've likely felt it yourself, haven't you? That little electronic ping, that subtle vibration in your pocket, it's a notification, a message, a siren call from a recruiter with a tantalizing new opportunity. It sings a sweet, seductive song. Like the sirens of Greek lore, those enchanting half-bird, half-woman creatures who perched on the island of Anthemoessa, luring sailors towards their rocky shores with irresistible melodies. Their song wasn't just beautiful, it was a promise of forbidden knowledge, of ultimate pleasure, of an end to the weary struggle of the voyage. The sailors, mesmerized, would steer their ships straight into the jagged rocks, their journey ending not in paradise but in utter ruin. In our modern professional lives, a new siren has emerged. It doesn't live on a mythical island, but within the glowing screens of our devices, its call echoing through job boards and professional networks. This digital siren's call promises a higher salary, a more prestigious title, a sunnier corner office, or maybe even a complimentary kombucha tap in the staff kitchen. But its song is far more sophisticated now. It whispers of unlimited paid time off, a work-from-anywhere policy, and a mission-driven culture that's changing the world. It arrives in the form of a recruiter's message on LinkedIn, flattering you. I came across your profile and was incredibly impressed. We're looking for a rock star just like you. It's a potent cocktail of ego, ambition, and the deep-seated human desire to believe that a better world, is just one click away. The danger, of course, is that the rocks are still there. They've just taken on new forms, a toxic work culture hidden behind a glossy careers page, a role that was dramatically oversold, or the cold reality of a last-in, first-out policy during the next round of layoffs. And so we face the dilemma. The decision is a weighty one, a true Homeric dilemma for the 21st century professional. Do you lash yourself to the mast of your current role, enduring its frustrations for the sake of stability? Or do you risk the siren's call for the chance at something greater? To hop or not to hop? That is the question that keeps us scrolling through job alerts late into the night. To understand the magnitude of this choice, let us for a moment travel back in time, not to the age of myths and monsters, but to a time that feels almost as distant, the latter half of the 20th century. This was the era of the job for life. In the post-war economic boom, a new kind of professional emerged, famously dubbed the organization man by William H. White, Jr. From the gleaming corporate headquarters of Madison Avenue to the sprawling factory complexes of the industrial heartlands in America and Europe, and even within the lifetime employment system or of corporate Japan, a powerful consensus had formed. Your career was a single predictable ladder, housed within the walls of one company. The deal was simple, an unwritten social contract, a covenant between capital and labor. The company offered security, a predictable path for advancement, a defined benefit pension that guaranteed a comfortable retirement, and perhaps a gold watch after 40 years of loyal service. In return, the employee offered unwavering loyalty. You didn't just work for Ford or IBM, you were a Ford man or an IBM man. Your identity, your social standing, even the community you lived in, were all intrinsically linked to your employer. This model wasn't just a business strategy, it was the very bedrock of the Western middle class, a promise of stability in an uncertain world. It was a career path you could set your watch by. But then, the world changed. The covenant was broken, not by the workers, but by the companies themselves. Starting in the 1970s and accelerating through the 80s and 90s, a perfect storm of globalization, technological automation, and a seismic shift in corporate philosophy began to dismantle the old order. The doctrine of shareholder primacy, famously championed by economist Milton Friedman, declared that a company's only social responsibility was to its profits. Loyalty to employees became a quaint, expensive relic. The era of downsizing, restructuring and outsourcing began. The job for life evaporated, replaced by the gig economy, short-term contracts, and the constant looming threat of reorganization. The risk, once shouldered by the corporation, was transferred squarely onto the individual. Companies no longer promise lifelong security, so why on earth should employees promise lifelong loyalty? Job hopping is not, therefore, an act of millennial entitlement or generational impatience. It is a logical, rational and necessary survival strategy in a game where the rules have been fundamentally rewritten. The ghost of careers past haunts the modern workplace, a reminder of a stability we may never see again. But in this new world, a new kind of navigator is required to chart these treacherous waters, to listen to the siren's song without crashing on the rocks. You need more than just a map, you need an experienced guide. This is where the expertise of a firm like Joga Coaching and Consulting becomes your indispensable ally. They are the strategists who help you distinguish a genuine opportunity from a destructive temptation, ensuring your career voyage leads not to ruin, but to a destination of your own choosing, one of profound success and fulfillment. A recent article by Callum Borchers, published September 4th, 2025, has sent a tremor through the professional world. The headline, "Job hopping is now out as fearful workers cling on." Borchers describes a perfect storm brewing: rising inflation, geopolitical instability, cooling of the hiring frenzy, power shifting back to employers. The winds have changed direction. The tailwind that lifted job hoppers is dying down. A headwind is starting to blow. Our exploration of the modern career labyrinth would be incomplete without a grand tour of the globe. For the path to professional fulfillment is not a single well-trodden road, but a dizzying array of cultural highways and byways, each with its own rules, tolls and destinations. So pack your wits and your ambition. Our journey begins. Let's begin our world tour in the United States, the spiritual home of at-will employment. Here the career landscape was forged in the crucible of the frontier spirit, a place where risk and reward dance a tantalizing tango. The very phrase "at will" sounds liberating, doesn't it? The freedom to leave, the freedom to hire. But it's a double-edged sword, my friends. This culture has often framed frequent job changes not as instability, but as a sign of dynamism, a fast track to higher earnings and a broader skill set. It's the gospel of Silicon Valley. Move fast, break things, and if your job isn't serving you, pivot. A 2022 report from the US Bureau of Labor Statistics showed the median employee tenure was just 4.1 years. This constant churn creates a market of perpetual motion, a high-stakes game of musical chairs where the music never quite stops. The pressure to constantly be networking, upskilling and polishing one's personal brand can be immense, leading to a pervasive sense of anxiety. Are you a dynamic go-getter or just one redundancy away from irrelevance? Navigating this requires the agility of a trapeze artist and the strategic mind of a chess grandmaster. Now, let us cast our gaze across the Atlantic to Germany, a land of poets, thinkers, and extraordinary stability. Contrast the American hustle with the German Mittelstand, the thousands of small and medium-sized, often family-owned businesses that form the very backbone of its formidable economy. Here, the corporate culture is less like a fast-flowing river and more like a deep, steadfast oak tree. Loyalty, deep expertise, and long-term commitment are prized above all else. This isn't just a business preference. It's a cultural philosophy rooted in the post-war Wirtschaftswunder, or economic miracle, where rebuilding required patience, precision, and a collective sense of purpose. The German system of Ausbildung, or apprenticeship, creates Meisters, master craftspeople, who spend decades honing their skills within a single company. They are the guardians of quality, the living embodiment of Vorsprung durch Technik. Job hopping is often viewed with suspicion. Why would you leave a good home? This model offers profound security and a deep sense of belonging, but for the restless innovator, it can sometimes feel like a gilded cage. A fascinating dichotomy, wouldn't you agree? Venturing further east, we arrive in Japan, where the traditional model of career stands in even starker contrast. For decades, the ideal was shushin koyo, lifetime employment. A company wasn't just a place of work, it was a surrogate family. You joined after university, and in return for unwavering loyalty, the company provided security for life. The salaryman became a cultural icon, a symbol of Japan's post-war economic miracle. But like a stoic samurai facing a new era, this system is now under immense pressure. A prolonged economic stagnation and the rise of globalization have forced companies to become more flexible. The younger generation, less willing to sacrifice their lives on the altar of the corporation, are increasingly exploring freelance work or joining more dynamic international firms. The result is a fascinating cultural crossroads, a society grappling with the tension between a deeply ingrained respect for tradition and the undeniable pressures of the 21st century global economy. Our journey now takes us to the two titans of Asia, India and China. In India, a booming youthful economy has created one of the most dynamic and fiercely competitive job markets on the planet. With over half its population under the age of 25, the sheer energy is palpable. Here, ambition is not a quiet hum, it's a deafening roar. The culture is a vibrant mix of ancient tradition and hyper-modernity, where one might find a jugaad, a frugal and clever innovation, being hatched in a Bangalore startup that competes with the world's biggest tech firms. Job hopping is common, driven by a relentless pursuit of better titles and higher pay. Yet travel further east to China, and the picture changes again. While its tech sector mirrors the frantic pace of Silicon Valley, complete with the infamous 996 work culture, the bedrock of business is guanxi. This is a concept far deeper than mere networking. It's a complex, invisible web of relationships, favors, and obligations rooted in Confucian principles of social harmony. Your career trajectory can depend less on your CV and more on the strength of your guanxi. It can be a powerful ladder for those within the right circles and an insurmountable wall for those on the outside. So what does this global mosaic of career philosophies mean for you, the modern professional? It means that the one-size-fits-all career advice you've been fed is frankly obsolete. The strategy that brings success in San Francisco could lead to stagnation in Stuttgart, or be utterly meaningless in Shanghai. Understanding these cultural undercurrents is no longer optional. It is essential for survival and success. But how does one navigate these treacherous international waters? This is where a seasoned guide, a master strategist, becomes your most valuable asset. Mjoga Coaching and Consulting is not just another career service. It is your personal navigator for the complex world of modern work. With deep expertise in cross-cultural career dynamics, Mjoga helps you decode the unwritten rules, leverage your unique strengths, and craft a bespoke career strategy that aligns with your ambitions, whether you're aiming for the C-suite in New York or building a legacy in the heart of Europe. We provide the map, the compass, and the seasoned counsel to turn cultural complexity into your competitive advantage. Don't just drift on the tides of the global job market, learn to command them. Consider the tragic figure of Sisyphus, condemned to an eternity of futile labor. The process of finding a new job can often feel like a Sisyphean task. Another tale offers a different warning for the ambitious job hopper. Icarus, overwhelmed by the exhilaration of flight, forgot his father's words and soared too close to the sun. The true role model for the modern professional is surely Odysseus, the most cunning, the most adaptable, the ultimate strategist. Let's talk about the elephant in the room, money. Research shows job switchers get higher wage growth. A 20%, even 30% salary increase is a powerful, almost irresistible incentive. While the short-term gains are undeniable, the long-term picture can be more complicated. The pursuit of higher pay can cost other forms of compensation. The serial job hopper becomes a cultural chameleon. Each new role makes you the new person, the outsider. Constant adaptation is exhausting. Before you even think about hopping, you must conduct a rigorous and honest loyalty audit of your current role. First, audit your growth. Are you still learning? Are you being challenged? Just as a wise poker player knows when to hold a good hand, they also know when to fold a bad one. The first signal to fold is the death of learning. If your loyalty audit tells you to stay, execute a strategic stay. Transform from a passive employee into an active intrapreneur, an entrepreneur within your organization. So, with the battlefield laid bare, How does one navigate this treacherous yet opportunity-rich landscape without becoming another cautionary tale whispered in the corridors of human resources? How do you become the master of the game, not its pawn? The answer lies not in a single silver bullet, but in a trinity of powerful, practical strategies. The first and most profoundly powerful solution is the story you tell about yourself. This isn't about fabricating a history, it's about archaeology. It's about digging through the strata of your experience, the projects, the successes, the failures, the lateral moves, and unearthing the golden thread that connects them all. You must become a master storyteller who can take the raw data of your career and weave it into a compelling epic of purpose and growth. Think of the great myths. Was Odysseus a mere wanderer, a drifter lost at sea for a decade? Or was he a hero on an epic quest to return home, acquiring profound wisdom and overcoming immense challenges along the way? The raw data, the timeline, is the same. The narrative is everything. A hiring manager sees a series of 2-year stints and their cynical, over-caffeinated brain might default to unreliable. But when you present those same 2 years as a deliberate tour of duty to master supply chain logistics, followed by another to understand direct-to-consumer marketing, you are no longer a flight risk. You are a strategic asset, a multidisciplined warrior who has deliberately sought out different fronts to become a more complete general. Crafting such a powerful epic, however, is an art form. It requires an outside perspective, a master bard to help you find the rhythm and the rhyme in your history. This is precisely where the expertise of Mjoga coaching and consulting becomes your unparalleled advantage. We are the master storytellers who help you transform the raw data of your CV into a legend that commands attention and respect. Secondly, your network is arguably your most valuable asset. The amateur job hopper flees a role like a thief in the night, leaving behind a trail of scorched earth. The strategic job hopper, however, sees each role as a chance to build a new wing on their network cathedral. This is a structure built not of stone and glass, but of trust, reciprocity, and shared success. Each colleague you help is a pillar in the nave. Each mentor you cultivate is a spire, pointing you towards greater heights. The strategic introductions you make are the flying buttresses, providing strength and stability. This philosophy of building bridges, not burning them, is non-negotiable. It means leaving every role with grace, gratitude, and a clear path for staying in touch. A landmark study by LinkedIn revealed that a staggering 85% of all jobs are filled through networking. Your CV gets you on the list, your network gets you in the door, often before the door is even officially open. And in our globalized economy, your cathedral shouldn't be a quaint village chapel. The modern professional builds wings in London, cloisters in Dubai, and bell towers in New York. Building such a magnificent structure requires an architect's vision. Mjoga Coaching and Consulting provides the blueprint, teaching you the subtle art of professional relationship architecture. Finally, you need a reliable navigational tool. Your modern compass is the framework we have discussed, a system for ensuring every move is deliberate. First, you craft your narrative. This is your true north. Every potential move must be measured against it. Does this new role add a vital, compelling chapter to my epic? If not, the compass needle says no. Second, you must regularly conduct what we at Mjoga call the loyalty audit. This is a brutally honest, periodic assessment of your current position. Ask yourself, is my growth curve beginning to flatten? Am I being compensated for the value I provide, not the value I provided when I was hired 2 years ago? Is the company's loyalty to my development as strong as its expectation of my loyalty to its bottom line? This isn't about being mercenary. It's about recognizing that loyalty is a two-way street. When you feel it becoming a one-way cul-de-sac, your compass is telling you it's time to consult the map. Finally, with your narrative as your guide and the audit as your catalyst, you move to strategic execution. This is not a frantic leap into the void. It is a calculated chess-like move involving deep market research and identifying companies that align with your story. It's about ensuring your next step isn't just a job, but a strategic acquisition. Navigating these steps alone can feel like trying to chart a course through a hurricane without a sextant. Why would you? Mjoga Coaching and Consulting are the master cartographers of career excellence. We are your indispensable ally, your co-pilot, providing the tools, the frameworks, and the objective, expert guidance to ensure every move you make is a step toward your ultimate career destination. We help you build your narrative, conduct your audit, and execute your plan with a confidence that turns fear into fuel. Stop wandering and start navigating. Your career is your grandest voyage. It's time you took the helm. We invite you to book a complimentary career breakthrough call today. It is a simple, no-obligation conversation that could very well be the moment you change the entire trajectory of your professional life. Seize this opportunity to partner with the best. It is in these treacherous waters that even the most cunning Odysseus can benefit from a wise guide. This is precisely the role of Yoga Coaching and Consulting. We don't believe in generic five-step plan to success nonsense. We begin by listening, helping you to excavate and articulate your own unique Ithaca, your professional and personal fulfillment. We are your ally, your strategist, and your champion. In the complex, high-stakes odyssey of your career, you do not have to sail alone. We invite you to book a complimentary career breakthrough call with us at Yoga Coaching and Consulting. This is not a sales pitch, it is a genuine, no-obligation strategy session. The greatest adventures always start with a single, bold step. Take yours now. Click the link below, book your complimentary call, and let's begin charting the course to your professional triumph together. As the great Roman philosopher Seneca once said, "It is not because things are difficult that we do not dare. It is because we do not dare that they are difficult."